If you're an Amazon seller who wants to get ungated in more brands, make Amazon shipments, track your profit, automate your feedback, or have a custom AI assistant for your Amazon business, this video is going to show you how to do all those things. And if you're only interested in specific features, you can use the chapters down below to skip to that. This will be your full guide to using Boxem to power your Amazon business. So let's just go ahead and jump in and I'll show you all the different things that you're going to want to do. Starting with the homepage of Boxem, this is where you're going to see the dashboard, the most important information of which is your profit and loss. As long as you're entering your costs for the products you're buying into Boxem as you go, these tiles will actually show you what you're truly making on Amazon. And I know for a lot of us, we have some crazy complicated spreadsheets and all that kind of stuff. So having a dashboard like this is really good to reference. And when it comes to analytics, if you want a more detailed breakdown of the products that you're selling, you can always go to the analytics page. I'm going to have to blur some of this because it is my actual Amazon store, but you'll be able to see which products are making you the most profit, the most revenue, what's selling the most of, and you can do that per SKU, ACE, and category. You can double down on the things that work and restock the ones you're selling a lot of. And for a more detailed analytics view, you can also click on any SKU or ASIN in your catalog, and you can see a per item breakdown of all the different sales you're making, breaking down also the buy cost, the fees, the profit, all that good stuff. Here's one quick example of a product that I've sold a few units of this week, so you can see how the dashboard looks. The next page that's going to be pretty fundamental for your business is the inventory page. This is where you're going to be able to see how many SKUs you have in your store, what you actually have in stock, and the really nice part is knowing what you actually are expected to sell based on what you have in your inventory and what you actually paid for that inventory. A really good way to know what your sell-through rate is in your business, so you know based on how much you sold last month compared to how much you actually have in stock, if you're doing a good job of selling through your inventory or if you need to pick up the pace and sell stuff faster. The inventory tab is also where you'll find one of the best features, especially if you're a newer Amazon seller. I know the process of getting ungated to sell products as a new seller can be pretty frustrating. So that's why we created the bulk ungating button. So just go ahead and click this button. And when you do that, you're going to see a box that looks like this. You can enter ASINs into this box. And basically what it's going to do is it's going to try to apply to sell these products in your store. And it's going to return a big list of them that are already auto ungated, or those products where you don't need to submit any invoices. So what this has led to for a lot of beginner Amazon sellers is literally just going in here, clicking this check suggested ASINs button. We have a big list of products for you. And that is immediately going to show you at least 50 to 100 brands that you're now auto approved to sell. Whereas before, when I was getting started as an Amazon seller, I had to go brand by brand, figure out what I could apply to sell, figure out what was auto ungated. And now you can go in here, click a button a couple times, and you'll have between 50 to 100 brands at least if you're a new seller. And for veteran Amazon sellers, I've seen 500 to 1,000 brands auto ungated with a couple clicks. This feature is especially powerful and is genuinely a game changer if you're in the arbitrage space, because now you have a huge list of brands that you can actually go out and sell, start reverse sourcing those brands, check those brands in Keepa, however you like to source. Now you have a huge list of products that you're actually approved to sell. And if you want to see more detailed videos on the channel on how to actually source those brands, you can check out a sourcing video after this one. As another note on the bulk auto ungating, you can also download the report. So if you click that button right there, that's going to give you a CSV file that shows you all of the brands that you're now approved to sell. Boxem is also how you'll want to list your inventory to save yourself some time. And to start the process of creating a listing on Amazon, we'll just go to inventory and then select either list FBM or list FBA, depending on how you're wanting to fulfill your items to the customers. In this case, I'm just going to show you how it works with an FBA item. And I'm going to use an ASIN that you're obviously going to have products that you've already sourced. So you're going to punch that ASIN in right there. We're going to go ahead and make a new SKU. And I usually just set the price pretty high. Go ahead and store what you paid for that item so that your analytics are correct. And then you can also store your supplier. So in this case, let's just say we bought this from JCPenney. And I would also recommend going in and selecting the date that you purchased this product. What that's going to do is it's going to create a custom SKU for this product. So now when you're going through and managing your inventory, you can see, hey, what did I pay for it? Where did I buy this item? How long have I had it? Lots of useful information that will help you know when to restock, when to lower prices, and where to actually go restock if you're able to. But then you'll just go ahead and hit that submit button at the bottom right. And for any other products you want to have listed in your store, just go ahead and repeat that process. After you're done, you'll just submit these listings off to Amazon. This will usually take about 15 minutes to communicate with Amazon. It'll show you right here when it shows as active. Loading this into Amazon is going to allow us to ship this item off to Amazon FBA. And in the meantime, let's break down the not so fun side, but still important of actually setting up our settings correctly. For the shipment settings, we can go ahead and select the default FBM shipping template. If you don't know what an FBM shipping template is, I'll be showing you a way to simply create one here in a second. You can also set the default ship from address and the default shipping method, whether you're doing a lot of boxes or if you're shipping pallets off, you can select LTL. You can also go ahead and select your default box contents preference. So there's two different ways to do it. You can use Boxem provided box contents. If you're making a large shipment where you plan to have a lot of boxes that are identical, I would recommend using Boxem provided because we can save on inventory placement fees. If you're not sending in a huge shipment, then I would recommend turning on 2D barcodes, because when you're using 2D barcodes, you're generally going to see a little bit of a faster check-in time, which means faster sales. And then for packaging, I'd also recommend turning on auto printing your FN SKU labels. That's going to save you a little bit of time. Again, I'll show you what that looks like as we're actually actually creating a shipment. As you're listing those items, it's also a good time to go ahead and set up Boxem Print. This is a custom software that you'll download on your computer, and it essentially makes it easier for Boxem to sync up with your printer. This is going to massively reduce any of those printer headaches that I know we've all experienced at some point. So you just go ahead and download the software, follow the setup process, and then opt into using Boxem Print. Once that's taken care of, you can also go ahead and select what printer you want to use. So for me, I use a standard like laser label printer, like a Rollo printer, but you can also just use a standard at-home printer. And if you want to do that, you'll select this button right here to use 30 up labels. This is essentially going to print labels on big sheets where there's 30 labels on the sheet. And then just in case you have a different printer for your FNSKU labels and your box labels, you can select a different printer down here. Another important thing to create in our settings is that variable SKU. So when we created that listing and stored all that information in our SKU, we do actually need to set that up and make it custom to however you want to make your SKUs look. For me, I like buy cost, supplier, purchase date, and then count. This is basically just like a random value that prevents your SKUs from accidentally being identical. But if you prefer to have less or more information than I have, you can go in here, add variables, delete any variables you want, select any different variables that you might want to have show up here. Again, this is very custom configurable, but I would recommend making this as data rich as possible. Kind of helps you manage your inventory. And then as another note here in the settings, you can also integrate your Boxem subscription with any repricers you might use. If you're at that stage in your business where you're using a repricer, use BeCool, Aura, or SellerSnap at the time of recording this video. You can integrate your buy cost to be automatically transferred between the tools. But now that your settings are correct and that listing has gone ahead and finalized, we're ready to go ahead and actually make a shipment and start sending these products off to Amazon. And this is where a lot of the time savings will really start kicking in. So on the shipments tab, you can also see all of the different stats about these shipments that you've created. So for me, we sent out some shipments on the 21st. So I was curious. Seems like we sent out 220 units in 7 boxes and we paid $1 per pound. So you can see all the analytics that are important for those shipments that you're sending in. And after those things check in, you'll also see how long it takes for your products to check in at Amazon. But we obviously want to go ahead and start making the shipment together. So we're going to select the new shipment button there. I'm just going to make a test shipment here with you guys. We're doing FBA. We want to select our ship from address. Go ahead and select your shipping method for this shipment. A lot of these are from our defaults again. I'm going to go ahead and turn this into a 2D barcode shipment so you guys can see how that works. If you want to see how it works so there's no inventory placement fees, I have a separate video on the channel that you can watch on that. And then I also would recommend opting into all of these different options here. These are things just going to make your process a little bit faster. I'm going to leave the auto print off for this case because I don't want my printer to be printing out a bunch of labels and I'm just going through an example with you guys, but it does save you clicking the print button on every product that you're adding down into a box. Well, let's go ahead and create this shipment. So now on step 1, I can search by product title, UPC, whatever you want. I'm going to go ahead and paste that same ASIN that we already listed. And let's just say we're shipping in 10 units of this item. You can also add as many different products to a shipment as you want. So I'm just going to use another example that I found here in the past. Go ahead and add this and say we have 10 units of this as well. But that's essentially it for step 1. We're basically just saying, hey, Amazon, here's what I'm sending you. In our case, we're sending them 20 total units, which in this case, we've spent $550 on. We can get a rough view of what the shipment looks like. Go ahead and continue and then submit that to Amazon. That's going to take me to step 2. And on step 2 of creating a shipment, our job is basically to say, hey, Amazon, you know what I'm sending you. Now I'm going to tell you what boxes I've put those items in, and I'm going to go ahead and label those products for you. And another thing you'll notice over here on the left, we're going to see all the products that we need to still put into a box along with the prep instructions required. So for this, we need to go ahead and print out our FNSKU labels, cover the original barcodes of the product. And then we also need to go ahead and put this down into a poly bag. So in this case, this would just be like a clear poly bag with a suffocation warning, seal it up, put the FNSKU label on the outside of that poly bag. As you're packaging those products and putting them down into the box, you can just go ahead and drag and drop that item, or you can click this menu right here to select which boxes you want the products to send to. And you can also go ahead and create more boxes here to split those items between, or you can create new boxes up here with the create boxes button. So just for example, on this one, let's say you wanted to have 5 in each box. We could pretty easily split those between box 1 and box 2. And now in this world, we've put all of the shirts in box 1 plus the toys, and then we put 5 more of the toys in box 2. Just for an easier example, I'm going to consolidate it down to one box. And this is also where you'll go ahead and change the dimensions and weight for the box you're actually sending in. And if you tend to send the same boxes over and over again, you can also save dimensions and weights as a template and come back to that later. So for example, I know some people might use the same Home Depot boxes over and over again. You can save those as a template and set it as a default as well. As another note on this screen, we talked about the benefits of inventory placement and using Boxem provided box contents. If you do use Boxem provided box contents, this tooltip will apply to you, where if you make 5 identical boxes, the exact same thing, same dimensions, same unit counts, then when we actually go and submit this to Amazon, this shipment would be eligible to be shipped with no inventory placement fees. Otherwise, you are going to be subject to those fees. What I will say on that is I see that it very rarely saves money since you're splitting to 5 different places. If your shipment is less than 250 pounds, if you're making a larger shipment than that, it can make sense. In this case, we're just sending a small shipment similar to probably a lot of the smaller shipments you might be doing as a new Amazon seller seller as well. So we're just going to go ahead and continue on. Here on step 3, we're going to go ahead and select the date that we want to ship this product into Amazon. And it's going to give us 3 different options, including all of the shipping fees and placement fees that we would have to pay to send it to that particular warehouse. So in this case, I probably want to send it here. It is significantly cheaper than the other 2 options I have. And I'm going to be sending 45 pounds of stuff across the state for about $20. Typically on average, shipping through Boxem, I see about 60 to 80 cents per pound as an average, although sometimes it can definitely go higher like that one example day did. Once you continue and confirm, that will confirm those charges. It'll go through your Amazon seller account, and those charges will go against any sales you've already made, or if you've never made sales yet, that will go on the credit card that you put on file on your Amazon account. And then you'll also be able to go ahead and download those shipping labels. This will come with the FBA label, including that 2D barcode right there, and the UPS label. So you just drop these off at UPS or pay UPS to come pick these products up for you. The next thing you'll want to configure in your Boxem account is something that can give you a small sales boost over time by automating how much feedback your store is getting. So to do that, let's go to the feedback requester, and we can basically set up an automated campaign that requests positive feedback on any of the orders that we've fulfilled to customers. So let's go ahead and set this up together. I'm going to just call it standard test, right? So I remember I made this with you guys. You can set it to active. You can send this only to customers who are new to your store, or you can send them to all customers. I like sending them to all customers, especially if you are a reseller. I personally would recommend excluding FBM orders. If a customer leaves a bad review and it was an FBM order, it's a lot harder to get that feedback removed from your store versus an FBA negative feedback, which is pretty easy to remove. You can exclude orders where there was some kind of promotion offered. This is usually going to be more applicable if you're a private label seller. And you can also exclude orders where the person might have already negatively or neutrally reviewed the seller. And if you care about the product feedback, you can include asking them via this email here. Under the products that we want to be sending this campaign on, you can select specific products in your store that you want to send emails to customers for. If you're just a reseller, I would probably suggest turning it on for all products. And then unless you go in and very specifically read the terms of service on what is allowed when we're requesting reviews, I would just leave this on the Amazon default, although you can go in here and make your own custom email text. Just like I said, make sure you read the terms of service. It can be pretty easy to accidentally violate Amazon's terms of service, especially when it comes to asking for 5-star ratings. So you can see what that email is going to look like that it's sending to all your customers, asking them to leave you good reviews, which is going to be a passive sales boost if you start getting a lot of good reviews on your store. And then you can also set up when you want these emails to send out. So in this case, we can set it up X days after it delivers, ships, or they even order the product. I like sending them an email a few days after that item actually shows up. And you'll see in the bottom that you can actually go ahead and select what time you want those emails to send at. Plus, as an additional setting, I would recommend excluding orders that had a refund on them. That means they had some kind of issue, so I don't really want to ask them for their feedback. It's probably going to be way more likely to be a negative feedback than a positive feedback. When you get that done though, just go ahead and click save down in the bottom right corner, and you're automatically going to start getting more feedback in your store. The next powerful feature that you're going to want to play around with is the Boxem AI. And while I'm recording this video, it's actually the only Amazon AI assistant that at least I'm aware of that is specifically trained to essentially act as, think about if ChatGPT was specifically trained on everything that expert Amazon sellers know about selling on Amazon. You can go in here and have detailed conversations. I started with something pretty basic just to see an example. I was like, hey, what's a good brand for me to start sourcing from? What should I look into? How do I even find stuff, right? And it knows a lot of the basics about sourcing products. It can send you good resources on how to source products, how to create more profit, that kind of thing. You can also get a lot more specific, right? Let's say you've been doing some storefront stalking and you've seen people selling Carter's clothing. So I went in here and said, hey, where are people buying that stuff? And it suggested 5 websites where I can probably go out and buy that inventory from. Or let's say you want to look into a very specific brand and you want to know where it's the cheapest. So I went and said, hey, what's the cheapest place I can get jockey branded items? And it was able to check and know the extra things that we know as resellers, like leveraging things like discounted gift cards and leveraging limited time sales and all this kind of stuff to show us that, hey, JCPenney is probably the cheapest place to get jockey. When these specific sale conditions are true, you can look out for these prices. So really the things you can ask Boxem are pretty endless here, but I really like it for use cases like this, where it's very like specific nitty gritty things in Seller Central. It's, hey, what should I change my FBM shipping template to for Q1? Where in Seller Central do I even do that? You could have it explain why shipping templates are even important in the first place. And then it will tell you exactly where to go. You can go click that right there, set the shipping template, change it to this, and then just break down all that knowledge that I really wish I had. I wish I had something like this in my pocket, basically an Amazon coach in my pocket when I was starting as an Amazon seller about 7 years ago. So as of January 2026, that's everything that Boxem will do for your Amazon business. If you're watching this in the future, there's probably even more stuff that you want to go ahead and play around with, plug into your Amazon business. But make sure you grab a 2-week free trial of Boxem down below so that you can start managing all of this with your Amazon business. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, anything like that. Always happy to chat with you guys down below. But I really appreciate you watching this video. And if you want to see how to source your next profitable products on Amazon as fast as possible, click this video right here.